Today's screencast is over Creative Schools, the Grassroots Revolution That's Transforming Education by Ken Robinson and Lou Aronica. Ken Robinson used Jefferson's beliefs of the purpose of education within the United States to produce and educate citizenry for the well-being of democracy in relation to this idea of mass education that we have today. And Ken Robinson brought up 3 points: social control, promoting equal social opportunity and equality within the learning environment, and social grooming for children, which is just the explanation of parents wanting their children to go to that right school where they will be educated and they will start to move up within society. When relating this to a 21st century student, I have a question for you. How can you get your own students to be engaged in a 21st century democracy and or economy as U.S. citizens if you can't get them engaged in your classroom? Well, this book creates this idea for you to use within your own classroom. You want to create that personal connection with your student and let them know that you are interested in whatever they're interested in. For example, the book uses if the most important thing to them is football, then the most important thing to you is to keep them on the football team or the basketball team, whichever it may be, and that involves getting good grades and them doing well in school. And then they'll start to respect you and give back what you want out of them. As I mentioned, if you want your students to succeed, then you have to know that they are valued through whatever they may like. The government also plays an important role within your students' education, as well as how you teach it. The government wants a well-educated workforce in order to have a national prosperity. This involves an innovation, entrepreneurship, and a 21st century skills within the work environment. A lot of this has to deal with global trade and having more control over other countries who are seen as threats within their own education systems. By that, I mean governments today are competing against one another within their education. For example, like China and the United States. Once China was seen as like passing a lot of these tests and America was starting to lag behind, a lot of American politicians pushed for reforms within our schools. A lot of this also has to do with more money. If our students are able to get better jobs and are able to up the money coming into the United States, then it's good for our national wealth. A little bag of tricks here for you guys. Ken Robinson has a TED Talk. He has, it's the most viewed TED Talk. It is, I'll come back to that later. He has TED Talks. He has a Twitter account. You can follow him on Sir Ken Robinson. He also has a website, sirkenrobinson.com. You can pause the video and to see how it's spelled. I also came up with a glossary of organizations that I had learned about. Okay, so this is where the TED Talk video is. It is over Do Schools Kill Creativity? It has over 40 million views, and it's the most viewed video for TED Talks. And he's also a British author. He was born on March 4th, 1950. He was also a professor of arts education and has led national and international projects on creative and cultural education in the UK, Europe, Asia, and the United States as well. Just to wrap things up, Ken Robinson brings a lot to the table in regards to revealing how education is molded through the government, different governments, and their motives, how things are taught, specifically through techniques, and how the Industrial Revolution helped shape how classrooms are set up through management. And there's also the involvement of students in letting them know that they do have a wealth to them and that they're important to you, and that through that they'll do better in school. As well as parents and adults and teachers just treating children as individuals instead of grouping them together as generalities within education, because that tends to seclude them and they don't do as well. All right, thank you for listening.